Hey guys, so I've gone and lost another tool, so it's time to either spend X amount of time looking for it or to buy or make another one. Now, I prefer to make my own tools where possible. It's just self-reliance and, don't spend the money. Besides, if something already exists and it doesn't, you don't really use it for its own genuine purpose, then you can always find another purpose for it. You repurposing tools or things to make tools is something that I love doing. Okay, so I need to remove the valves out of valve stems, and yeah, time to make a tool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this donor screwdriver. I'm going to turn it into a valve remover, and I'll take you through it step by step. So first step, remove the unwanted end of the donor screwdriver. Okay, and a mild steel screwdriver, so a real cheap basic one is probably the best one to use. This one's chrome Vanderman, so hopefully we'll be able to make this. We'll see how we go. All right, time for step 2, which is to drill a hole down the center of this. So this is going to be interesting. Okay, so that took a bit longer than I thought it would take because of the chrome Vanderman. I would highly suggest that if you're going to do this, make sure that your donor screwdriver is mild steel. It would make drilling that hole a lot easier. Or start off with some pipe and just put a handle on it. That could work as well. Okay, so that's basically where that valve comes up. That hole is so that you can actually go over the valve. Okay, the next thing is to cut a slot in it to be able to undo the valve. Okay, I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Now, after doing all that hard work to make sure that the slot actually fits over quite nicely, what you're going to want to do is you want to make sure that this now fits in here, which this only goes halfway down. So I need to very, very carefully grind off a little, actually going to file this because I don't want to ruin all that hard work by taking away too much. It's actually not much still there, so I'm going to be very, very careful about how I do this. And all I need to do is I need to clear the actual threads, the brass threads in there. So I can get down to the top of the threads. I now need to be able to insert the shaft a little bit further past those threads just to ensure that I get all the way down to either undo or do the valve all the way up. All right, being chrome Vanderman, I ended up cheating and using the bench grinder. Otherwise it was just going to take too long. I was very, very careful, used the finer grinding wheel, and just took along that just to keep checking it to make sure. So as soon as I could actually get free access inside those threads, I stopped grinding and just finished it off with a file. Okay, so let's see if it works. What you do, you just go in there and just turn, nice and easy. Easy peasy, out she comes. Okay, and putting it back in, it's the same, just in reverse. Anyone who's changed valves even in the bike and the old days on the push bike, and you just give it a little bit nice and tight, not too tight. You don't want to strip threads because it's brass thread on brass thread, or actually no, going to be steel thread on brass thread. So you definitely won't want to strip the brass threads on the inside of that, because that means you've got to replace the valve. On a tubeless tyre of a car, well, that's just one of those. Now, not everyone's got these. These are ones I've recovered out of tyres. You can buy them quite cheaply on the internet, or you can, when you're getting your tyres done, you can get it done at the tyre dealer. But this channel's about saving money and trying to do it yourself. So yeah, I mean, obviously, if I'm throwing even a steel rim, if I'm actually just cashing that in or giving it to my steel scrapping guy, yeah, shout out there to Polyprofit. What'll happen is, even if I'm scrapping the steel ones, I wouldn't mind trying to keep those. What happens is quite often they'll pull apart, the rubber perishes. When you try to get these out, it's not a high success rate. But when you're not caring about them, when you're just ripping them out with a pair of nail pullers, Yeah, they tend to come out more often than not, and you can see that's the you pull them that way out of the rim, which means you've got to have the tyre off. So yeah, anyway, so they're always handy, and of course if you're prepared to go that extra mile, which I'm actually planning on doing, that's how much brass you get out of each tyre valve. I think it's worthwhile. I don't know how much weight that is, but it's probably heavier than a 20-cent piece. So yeah, I would be certainly putting all those aside, and one rainy day, you might decide to pull them all apart and just chuck them in the brass pile. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. And the reason I'm making this is to, basically decommission some rims, alloy rims, and I might actually take you through the process of demounting a tyre and stripping the rim ready for scrapping, and also scrapping the tyre, like getting rid of the tyre. I know some people have struggled to get rid of tyres in their area, and I can show you how to do that safely and ethically. Okay, guys, excuse me. I signing off now, and sorry about that. Signing off now, and yeah, I'll see you soon.